You can replace this text with any text you wish. You can either write in this text box or paste your own text here. Try different languages and voices. Change the speed and the pitch of the voice. You can even tweak the SSML, speech synthesis markup language, to control how the different sections of the text sound. Click on SSML above to give it a try. Enjoy using text-to-speech. When every door slams shut, every job application is ignored, and every effort feels wasted, your spirit finally asks the real question. Can I rise without a job? And God answers, yes. Because I don't open doors, I build entirely new wings on the building. There is a divine wealth stream that does not require resumes, interviews, or begging for approval. When you let God lead, your provision flows straight from heaven's treasury, not a company payroll. Understand this from the very first second. God never designed your destiny to be capped by a salary. He hid greatness inside you so you could live by His limitless supply, not man's limited systems. Sometimes God dries up the job on purpose. Not to punish you, to push you into the ocean He already placed inside you. A job is a single faucet. God is the entire river. Fear will scream, "You have no income!" God will whisper, "Now watch what I can do when I'm your only source." Wealth without a job is not a fantasy, it's activation. It begins the moment you trade human permission for divine direction. The world says, get qualified, get hired, get in line, get a raise, get tired, retire broke. God says, I already qualified you in the womb. Step into what I put in your heart and watch me multiply it. Wealth without a job doesn't mean wealth without work. It means work without chains. Your effort is now fueled by revelation, not desperation. When God guides, ideas hit you like lightning. Opportunities chase you down. Favor puts your name on doors you never knocked on. What took others 10 years happens for you in months. People right now are panicking because the job is gone. But God removed the training wheels so you could finally ride the rocket He built inside you. Stop praying, Lord, give me a job. Start praying, Lord, show me what you've already given me. The delay you hate is the redirection you'll one day thank Him for. He's clearing the table of crumbs to serve you a feast no employer could ever pay for. When you finally ask, God, what did you place in me that can produce wealth? He will light up gifts you buried, skills you downplayed, passions you silenced. Some of you have voices that can coach millions. Some of you have hands that can create products the world is waiting for. Some of you have wisdom that solves problems people will gladly pay to fix. Wealth without a job is not laziness, it's alignment. It's moving when God says move, building when God says build, speaking when God says speak. The moment you surrender the steering wheel, something shifts. You stop chasing money. Money starts chasing the anointing on your life. You are not unemployed. You are under new management. And your new boss doesn't do layoffs, he does breakthroughs. Let go of the world system. Grab hold of God's strategy. Because the same God who fed Elijah by ravens and multiplied 5 loaves for 5,000 is the same God who is about to turn your no job into now watch fire. Rewritten, same length, same fire, same flow. Some of you carry wisdom that kings would pay for. Some of you have stories that can set captives free. Some of you have resilience that can become $1 million brand. The problem was never lack of gifts. The problem is you were taught to trade your greatness for a paycheck instead of releasing it for profit. When God guides you, He doesn't just show you what to do. He shows you who you've always been. He turns your pain into products. Your message into a movement. Your scars into services people line up to pay for. Let God lead and watch fear lose its voice. Doubt will shrink. Timidity will vanish. You'll walk with a confidence that doesn't come from your bank account. It comes from knowing the Creator has your back. Wealth starts with identity. See yourself small. Live small. See yourself chosen. Live limitless. There are people with 6-figure jobs still broke in their spirit. There are people with no job becoming millionaires because every move they make is ordered by heaven. Wealth follows obedience, not overtime. Wealth follows revelation, not resumes. When God guides, He drops ideas that feel like fire in your bones. Ideas too big to ignore, too alive to postpone. Most people kill those seeds because they look too small, too weird, or too risky. But the greatest empires started with a seed nobody else valued. Stop waiting to be hired. Start walking like someone heaven has already employed. You don't need another interview. You need divine insight. Income follows insight. Favor follows obedience. When God is your CEO, doors don't just open, they swing wide before you even knock. Some of you are watching this terrified because the job is gone. Good. Now there's no more pretending you're the provider. Now God gets to show the world who He is through you. Stop saying, "I need a job." Start saying, "God, activate what you already deposited." The same God who told a shepherd boy to face a giant, who told a fisherman to cast the net one more time, is telling you right now. Launch it. Post it. Start it. Say yes. Step out. Wealth without a job isn't laziness, it's liberation. You're no longer building someone else's dream for minimum wage. You're building God's dream with kingdom wages. When God guides, even your mistakes make money. Even closed doors redirect you to bigger rooms. Even no becomes protection from what would have delayed you. Discernment becomes your new currency. You'll know which opportunity is a trap and which one is a throne. You'll feel in your spirit when to run and when to rest. The world fears uncertainty. You'll start dancing in it, because uncertainty is just God's workspace. Some of you have dreams that died under fluorescent office lights. God just resurrected them. The job was the grave clothes. Unemployment was the stone rolling away. You were never created to clock in for another man's vision. You were created to birth what God breathed into you before you were born. Let God guide you. And watch wealth stop hiding from you and start hunting you down. Fire. They followed a whisper no one else could hear. They chased a vision that looked insane to everyone watching. That's exactly how God-guided wealth works. The ideas He drops in your spirit will feel too wild, too massive, too unrealistic. Do not shrink them. God doesn't give ordinary ideas. He gives destiny-defining, generation-shifting, wealth-exploding ideas. Following them will stretch you. It will force you to kill old mindsets, cut deadweight relationships, and build new disciplines. Wealth demands growth. God refuses to pour new wine into old wineskins. He will refine your character before He releases the cash, because broke people with money just become broke people with problems. True wealth isn't just money, it's peace that stays when the bank account dips, clarity that cuts through chaos, freedom that no boss can revoke, purpose that turns profit into legacy. Let God guide you and money becomes a byproduct, not the goal. Abundance becomes your testimony, not your identity. When God guides, He rewires your mind first. You stop seeing walls and start seeing doors where none existed. You stop seeing lack and start seeing leverage. Limitations you accepted for years suddenly look like lies. Jobs train you to think in boxes. God trains you to think in kingdoms. He removes the job not to hurt you, but to silence every voice that kept saying, "This is how much you're worth." The greatest shift? You stop asking, "Who's going to pay me?" and start asking, "Who am I called to serve?" Wealth flows towards servants, not beggars. God-guided wealth turns you into a solution the world didn't know it needed. Your gift starts solving problems people will empty their wallets to fix. Suddenly you walk with a different kind of boldness, not arrogance, but absolute certainty that heaven is backing every step. People will call you crazy. They'll ask, "But what if it fails?" You'll smile and answer, "The one guiding me doesn't know that word." There will be waiting seasons, not because God is slow, but because He's strengthening your roots before He explodes your fruit. He's aligning people you haven't met, money you haven't touched, doors you haven't seen. Divine wealth isn't random luck. It's orchestrated order. God is too strategic to give you millions before He gives you maturity. He's too wise to hand you influence before He hands you integrity. Some blessings are locked behind obedience you haven't walked yet. Some millions are waiting behind the yes you keep delaying. The treasures buried in you were never meant to stay buried under a 9-to-5. Some destinies can only breathe in open space. Let God guide you. Say yes today. Take the step today. Launch it scared. Post it shaking. Start it small. But start it surrendered. Because the same God who turned a shepherd's staff into an empire-shifting weapon is about to turn whatever is in your hand into wealth the world has never seen. Your job was never your provider. It was just practice. Now the real assignment begins. And heaven has already signed the check. Fire. Some callings can't breathe inside a cubicle. Some gifts die under fluorescent lights. When God decides it's time for your wealth explosion, He often yanks you out of systems that were never built to contain you. You'll feel lost at first. Doors slam. Income stops. People panic for you. But heaven is simply relocating you from a cage to an open field. You were never meant to be an employee of man. You were meant to be an ambassador of God. Letting God guide you strips away every fake identity you borrowed. I'm just a worker. I'm just a follower. I'm just waiting to be chosen. No. You are a walking treasury heaven deposited on earth. Jobs let you hide. God-guided wealth forces you to shine. Wealth becomes responsibility, not bragging rights. Money stops being the goal and becomes the tool. Abundance stops being about accumulation and starts being about assignment. When God can trust you to steward wealth for kingdom impact, He stops trickling and starts flooding. You stop forcing doors. You stop begging for seats. You stop shrinking to fit rooms that were too small anyway. Standards skyrocket. Mediocrity becomes allergic. Enough gets deleted from your vocabulary. Time stops being a prison and becomes a canvas. Every hour carries seeds. Every day is pregnant with possibility. You stop counting hours for pay. You start counting lives you're called to change. Faith becomes motion. God never shows the whole map. He lights the next step. One obedient step triggers the next revelation. That's how He builds unbreakable trust funds in your spirit before He drops millions in your hands. Wealth stops being a number and becomes a frequency. You start vibrating at abundance before the money even shows up. Opportunities start hunting you. People start looking for you. Favor puts your name in rooms you never walked into. Even closed doors become divine redirections. Even no becomes protection from counterfeit blessings. You'll thank Him for what He blocked more than for what He gave. Inner strength becomes your first form of wealth. Resilience replaces fear. Clarity replaces confusion. Boldness replaces insecurity. Once your spirit is upgraded, no recession can touch you. Once your vision is expanded, no ceiling can hold you. Your desires upgrade too. You stop envying limbos and start hungering for legacy. You stop chasing clout and start chasing calling. Lack is no longer your inheritance. Scarcity is no longer your portion. Paycheck to paycheck is no longer your testimony. You were born for overflow. You were wired for impact. You were designed to reflect the generosity of the God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. Wealth without a job isn't a loophole. It's the original blueprint. So keep saying yes. Keep taking the next step. Keep trusting the nudge. Keep obeying the whisper. Because every time you move with God, you're walking straight into the abundance that was waiting with your name on it long before you ever filled out your first job application. Let God guide you. And watch the wilderness you're in right now turn into the wealthy place He promised all along. Fire.